Hey y'all, my name's Megan. I'm a homeschool mama of two and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing the first of what will become a monthly homeschool in review so that we can look back on what worked and what didn't for this homeschool year. So of course, August was our first month back at school. So I just want to sit down and have a little chit chat about what worked, what didn't, and what we're going to be changing and adding for September. Hopefully you guys will get some resources or ideas for your own homeschool homes. But more than that, maybe we can just all be honest that every single day at our homeschools, or at least mine, we are not living in a Pinterest perfect world. I don't know, does that sound appealing to you? If it does, you know, crack open a cold one. In my case, that's always gonna be a Coke Zero. And let's sit down and talk about it, okay? Okay? All right, let's do this. So my overall impression for how this month went was pretty positive. It was difficult getting back into the rhythm of things, especially with kiddos who had been really living in an unstructured environment for the last 2 months. Plus we had a big move in the spring. So our home has been in chaos. And I actually think that is why homeschool has worked so much this month. It's because we were finally adding back in a routine and a structure that the kiddos recognized in our new space. So overall, it was really positive. I definitely feel like we have some areas of improvement, but this is our 4th year homeschooling, and I felt like August was one of the first time I really have my feet underneath me right from the beginning, know what I'm doing, and I know where I want to steer this ship, and it's just a matter of figuring out how I want to do that. All right, so that's my overall impressions. Now let's talk about what worked, right? Let's start with the positives on this little constructive criticism I'm doing of myself. The biggest thing that I think worked, and it's one of the reasons we've had such an improvement in how our routines have been going, is that this year, in our 2nd week of homeschool, I implemented a block scheduling. So instead of trying to do every subject every day or like on some sort of rotating system, we just decided, okay, on Mondays and Wednesdays, we are going to be doing math and history. And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we're going to do science and language arts. And of course, kind of sprinkled into that rotation are like reading lessons and art appreciation, other kinds of things that maybe you would list as an enrichment activity. That's obviously kind of being stirred into all of that. So something that has really helped us with that and that I really liked is I got off of Etsy this kind of weekly schedule calendar, and I'll link this below so that you can, if you like it, go check out the creator. She does a lot of school planning, home organizing templates, and this came in a few colors. I just downloaded it and then I laminated it. And using dry erase, this is from last week, so it needs to be changed. I just kind of write in our schedule, and then in purple, I'll put anything we've got going on up there. And this is posted on our homeschool bulletin board so that my oldest daughter, Winnie, can really look at what's going on. And honestly, it's just a way for me to visually organize the week and kind of look ahead of what we've got going on. And mainly, the only thing that really changes for us, again, are those enrichment activities or maybe some other things we got going on. Sometimes it's fun, like a trip to the beach, and sometimes it's, you know, a doctor's appointment. But either way, it just kind of helps my kiddo know what we're going to be doing that day. Block scheduling has also simplified the way that I plan homeschool, because the night before I can just put out our workbooks that I know we will be using, and we can open and go those bad boys. And so that's been really easy for us. And because we're really doing school in quotes, okay, air bunnies, 4 days a week, we're leaving Fridays open for like a fun Friday or free Friday activity, field trips, if you will, that kind of thing. And that's worked out really well to have that incentive to get us to the end of the week. And for me, as a homeschool mom, Fridays are kind of the worst because we've had a long week, inevitably, for good or bad. It's just you know, you're at the end. It feels like you've ran a race and you're ready to stop. And I'm just like looking out the windows, you know, splitting the blinds, looking around, like waiting for my husband to come home. I don't want to live like that. That's not the life I envision for myself. So opening up those Fridays is really giving us something to look forward to as our own little homeschool class, like going and doing stuff. It's been really, really fun. The subject that's really going best for us this month has actually been our language arts, which I'm super surprised by, but also just really like, oh, thank God, because we did purchase the Brave Writer DART program this year. And if you've never checked out Julie Bogart, you should. Not only her books, her blog, her podcasts, but actually the products are working really well for us as well. And I was a little nervous about that because they can be a bit pricey, but we did just buy the program as a whole, but you can go in and do a la carte as well, so you can look through like old programs. Our book this month is The One and Only Bob, which is actually the sequel to The One and Only Ivan. This is such a fun book. We have super enjoyed reading it. It's hilarious. It's fast paced. The chapters go by quickly. It's kind of action intensive and we're all into it. It really helps too that The One and Only Ivan was such a success. There's a Disney movie about it. And actually, as a matter of fact, I picked up, you know what? Pause here. I'm gonna go get this book to show you guys too. Okay, I picked this book up, The One and Only Ivan, and this is also by Catherine Applegate, who wrote the series that we're reading as well. And this is just a picture book, but this is the true story because she does take a lot of artistic liberty in fictionalizing the story. And so this one actually goes through more of a true story of what happened to Ivan, which is truly tragic. And these are really great illustration styles as well. So we watched the movie, The One and Only Ivan. We watched some YouTube videos about the actual Ivan. And then I picked this up for us as well, just to give some more context to The One and Only Bob. But I want to show you some of Winnie's work that has come out of the DART program this month because it's pretty impressive. So we have been doing copy work and I just picked up this primary journal for Winnie. Just see here. I think you can get these pretty much anywhere. But what I like about it is it has her lines for writing and then a place for her to put a picture. So this was one of her first of the month sort of work that she did, where she copied a sentence and then drew a picture of Bob and Ivan. And I don't know if you guys can tell, but in this one, Ivan is like exasperated. So he's like, ah. Winnie's had a really good time putting in the illustrations to these sentences. And what I like about this is that she's just having fun. She's doing her copy work, she's drawing her pictures, but while she's doing that, we're talking about the grammar that's in those sentences. So for example, in something that looks so simple like this sentence, look, nobody's ever accused me of being a good dog. We've talked about compound words, apostrophes, commas, and as well as pronouns. And so it's just opened up this really great grammar conversation. And to her, in her experience, we're just reading this really awesome story, reliving some really funny scenes, and she's getting to illustrate that as well. And I just think it's getting so much better. Even as I look at our most recent work, her handwriting is just better, and her illustrations have always just been amazing. See, she got to use pen here, so I don't know how well that's going to show up on camera. I really hope that this continues to work out for us because we're really enjoying it, and the book selections are just fabulous. And the instructions that come with the DART, it's not just like groundbreaking stuff. I mean, I know what a pronoun is, right? Or compound word, I could teach that. But just to have somebody do that for me, put all of that lesson work together behind a sentence, I mean, that's just saving me a tremendous amount of time. And I like letting go of the burden of feeling like I have to DIY everything, because that's something that's pretty intense for me. I feel like I'm not allowed to spend money or ask for help if it is something that I could technically do for myself. and to kind of give over and also join that Brave Writer community has been also just stress relieving, truly. So we're having a lot of fun with our language arts program this month, and hopefully that continues into September. The last thing that I want to talk about in terms of our successes for this month, it's not really around a program or a specific item, but it's actually been around the mindset shift of allowing ourselves to savor these last few days of summer, or weeks, as it might be. We live in the Midwest, and this is new for us. This is our 4th year to live here. And the transition between fall to winter is really difficult for us, and winter seems to drag on forever. If you live in a cold weather environment, then you know what I'm talking about. So instead of just sticking on this taskmaster to-do list of like, oh my gosh, if we don't get through XYZ reading program, we have failed. Mama, that is inaccurate. Like, let go of that right now, because the truth is there are no educational emergencies, okay? That's just fact, right? And for us being able to savor these last few weeks of summer has just been probably some of the best memories of our homeschool year, I would say. I know we're right at the beginning, but I'm going to put those at the top. We have gone to the lake like 3 times this week and just enjoyed less crowds, being together, being able to play with my kids. It's just been remarkable, and I've really, really loved that. So if possible, I just encourage all of you guys, let go of that intense anxiety of, we've got to get this done now, people, and enjoying what might be, depending on your climate, these last few warm weeks, because it's gonna get cold, you guys. Oh, here comes Cheese. Oh, I scared her. All right, now let's talk about what needs work. And this is where I'm really begging you guys for any type of suggestions that you might have, leave them down below, please. That is a heartfelt request to the YouTube community. So what we are actually struggling with this month has been math, which is such a huge surprise for me because it is our favorite, or Winnie's favorite. We use the Math with Confidence first grade, and this is from Kate Snow. We loved the kindergarten program, and we're loving this program too. It's really not a matter of being disappointed with the program in terms of like what it provides and offers. It's just that I think Winnie is really good at math. This is the subject that she excels in, and I want to pour into her for that, okay? She needs something that is more challenging, or maybe picks up the pace a little bit faster. With our current curriculum, continuing with Math with Confidence grade 1, I'm just going to try to pick up the pace a little bit and maybe drop some of the review because she just doesn't need it and is getting a little bit frustrated with that. So I'm going to kind of trust the spiral, and maybe we're going to speed up that process. I don't know. Looking at some other YouTube mamas, some suggestions I've seen has been Beast Academy. So I looked into that, like an online program. And my only like concern is, although she's really excelling at math, she does need some work with reading. So Beast Academy seemed to be a lot of reading, and I'm not so sure if that's going to work well for her. If there are Beast Academy users out there, please let me know if the program is worth the investment. We can do it. I just want to know if it's going to be something she's going to use. I also like the idea of using an online program because I would like her to start getting comfortable using the computer in a productive setting, in a productive manner. Those are skills she's definitely going to need. So if you guys know of just some bomb diggity like auxiliary program that I could maybe lay over top of the first grade Math with Confidence, let me know. I've even thought about making the plunge into Singapore math. I guess my greatest concern with that was I'm not super strong with math. I mean, of course, like a first grade math I can handle, right? But I didn't want to just like race ahead to the point that I can't assist her. I don't know. So if you have suggestions, please, please, please leave those below. The other thing that really needs some improvement is my Montessori work with PJ, my 2.5-year-old. I think I'm getting so caught up in what's going on with Winnie that PJ is kind of just, not like getting the drugs or getting left behind, but I'm just trusting her to come in here and do her free play, which is great. And she does that. She comes in here and uses all of her toys and Montessori works that are readily available to her. But I need to get better about taking her more closeted works that I keep like away from her because they maybe have small parts or are messy. I need to be better about bringing those out of the closet. So my idea for this month, for September, is that I'm actually going to plan out her morning work. I don't mean that I'm going to sit down and just plan out exactly like for 15 minutes, she's do this. I don't mean that. What I mean is every morning I'd like to choose a more complex work for her to have at the table while I'm working with Winnie. So I think I'm just gonna write it down and get it out the night before. Be that the kinetic sand or the waterworks, or even doing like bead work, things like that. I just want to have it ready and be on the ball with it. So she is getting maybe a little bit more one-on-one time with mom. In the afternoons, we do her busy book and her letter work, but in those morning hours, instead of just being like, I don't know, go play, which is great. She gets a lot of playtime. I just would like her to also get that independent interaction with me. And plus I spent a lot of money on these other works that I want to make sure we're utilizing. And it's not because she's disinterested in them. It's just because I'm not putting the effort in for the prep, the setup, and the cleanup. So I don't know. That's pretty much what we're going to, like the things from August that definitely need to be tinkered with and figured out. Now on to the super exciting part, what we're going to be adding for September. There are two major things that I am adding into our homeschool life for the month of September, and I'm really excited about both of them. So the first, we are going to be adding a language program. My oldest daughter has really shown interest in speaking one particular foreign language, which I'm not going to reveal here. I'll do a video about it once I get together all of our resources. And I'm really excited for that because it is a foreign language that our whole family is interested in learning. So we're actually going to make it a family project and hopefully tie it into some travel. So once I get that together, you guys, I am really happy to share our resources and our language journey with you. And hopefully our language journey leads to a real life journey, but we will see. All right, you know what? Feel free to ignore everything that just happened or let it live rent-free in your mind for, you know, the next month or so. I don't care, whatever. Okay, the next big thing that we are adding to our homeschool for September, and I'm really excited about it, and please let me explain why before you think this hype is just ridiculous. We are adding in sight word flashcards. And these were off of Game Note. You guys, I love Game Note, just from Amazon. I think they were less than 20 bucks. And I'm gonna show you what they look like, and then I'm gonna tell you what we're gonna do with them, okay? So this box came with 5 different levels of flashcards, and they are made out of like a water-resistant, thick material, and they come with the rings and the pre-punched cards. And what I like about these is they have the sight word on one side and like a sentence context on the other side. So up until this point, what I have been doing for sight words, I have been using the Bob's Books sight words. And I like that because it definitely uses the sight words in a book story narrative context. So the kids are just reading the books and practicing the sight words. But I wanted to add in this flashcard resource because I want to do a flashcard challenge with Winnie. So when I was a little kid, my dad bought a pack of flashcards that was multiplication tables and division tables. and he would make challenges with me. Like if I could get through all the cards in under a certain amount of time and do them accurately, then I would get a reward. And when I was a kid, the reward that I got was to throw a Halloween party in my garage. So you guys, if you can imagine the bomb.com things that we did, let me tell you how fancy this Halloween party was. My dad hung up black plastic tarping on the walls, and we got to paint on the walls with glow-in-the-dark paint. And then my mom got a black light so it all glowed in the dark. We bobbed for apples. I don't know, what I'm telling you was, it wasn't that fancy. But to me, it felt so special, not just because it was super fun, but because I felt like I had earned something, right? There was a challenge. I practiced. It was really hard at first. It was something that my dad could do with me every single night. And at the end, I just felt like I had overwhelmingly succeeded at something. And it's that feeling of accomplishment that I'm wanting to bequeath, okay, to my kiddo. So I thought that I would get these and maybe practice with them during the day, just casually with her, but really leaving it to be something that her and her dad can do together in the evenings. And that's also a way for him to participate in our homeschool, because I think he feels left out, okay? We have all the fun around here, right? And he's at work, and when he comes home, you know, he just gets to hear about the fun, cool stuff we did. So I thought if we put together a challenge where the two of them can set up the terms and work towards prizes, I thought that would be so fun. And I chose this fall to do it because, I don't know, maybe we'll put some Halloween rewards in her flashcard challenge. So that's the other thing we're going to be adding. All right, you guys, was August perfect? No, ma'am, it was not. But you know what? Is it done? Yeah, baby, it is. So until next time, keep on homeschooling, okay? Bye!